True crime with MJ. Cases on the screen, yeah, we mainstay. Breaking down facts, every frame weight. City in a voice, every word blade. They throw dirt, plot in a group chat, smile in her face. Same ones who do that. Think she soft cause she cute, let them think that. So they see how she moved and they fall back. Men locked and can't miss one show. Refresh page when the upload go. Women watch too, tryna study her glow. Some take notes of the ones throw stones. Combos with MJ, tap and stay live. Hit like hit share, yeah, help her rise. They hate, they plot, but she built from fire. Click sub on a page if you feel that vibe. Hey. Combos with MJ, true cut like steel. Stream run deep, cause the pain's so real. They talk, but they can't break wheels. So like and subscribe if you know that feel. You count climb, that's the proof right there. Can't dim shine when the grind is rare. Self-made queen in a swivel back chair. Whole new world in a ring light glare. She stack funds, every post, every ad. Turning dark stories to a big brown bag. Knows the law, knows rights, never move sad. If you cross lines, then it's up, that's bad. Men obsessed, blowing up her DMs. I love you, marry me, she just skims. Women envy, wanna walk in her Timbs, but she stay or never trade for them. Convos with MJ, tap and stay live. Hit like hit share, yeah, help her rise. They hate, they plot, but she built from fire. Click sub on the page if you feel that vibe. Convos with MJ, true cut like steel. Stream run deep, cause the pain's so real. They talk, but they can't break wheels. So like and subscribe if you know that feel. All that gossip, all that noise. Can't shake poise, can't steal voice. Can't stay clean, mind stay sharp. Heart stay strong in the deepest dark. Convos with MJ, tap and stay live. Hit like hit share, yeah, help her rise. They hate, they plot, but she built from fire. Click sub on the page if you feel that vibe. Convos with MJ, true cut like steel. Stream run deep, cause the pain's so real. They talk, but they can't break wheels. So like and subscribe, let the fam all build.
What up, party people? I am back. I am finally back. Good folks of the algorithm. How are you doing? It is your girl, MJ. Listen, I know I've been away for a couple of days, even I think almost another week and a half or so. And I apologize, guys. My job is very tedious. They have us doing a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of training. So I have been MIA, but I am fortunate to be back with you guys. I have a couple of cases for you. I'm not going to do 3 like I normally do. I'm going to do 2. I am extremely tired today. Extremely tired. And I want to finish completing the David case video that I was going to put out for you guys because I haven't forgot. So just make sure you're hitting the like button for me while you're coming in. I truly appreciate it. It helps the channel. Share this out to anyone who like these immersive conversations about cases, old cases, cold cases, new cases, you name it. We do it over here. And I just want to shout out my day ones that came on time. And I truly appreciate y'all being here. Brucey, darling, it's so good to see you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday. And sweetheart, my darling, it's so good to see you. Shout out to you. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good day as well. Hope you're having a good day in the family and everything. All right. So like I said, guys, I only have 2 cases. This is going to be a short live. I wanted to get some content out for you guys. I will be coming back later once I have another day to spare to come and do content for you guys. But hopefully my schedule will be changing. It's usually like this in the summertime. Hopefully it'll change back to as normal where I can actually put out more content for you guys on a regular basis. Okay. So the first case that I have, and shout out to the channels that I like to review their video essays on certain type of cases like Stay Awake, Red Tree, Interrogation, EWU. Shout out to them. They allow me to use their content. There's never been any problem, and I appreciate it. I like their videos because their videos are very easy to dissect. also for the viewership as well. So shout out to them. I just wanted to say that. Okay, let me go ahead and pull up my screen. Let's see. Who is this? Hi, David. How are you? I don't know what he said. Oh my God, those are DS. What is that? What is DSL? I do not know what that is. Shout out to you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I don't know what that is. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Okay, let me go ahead and pull up my screen. He caught me off. No, I am not Lauren Hill. Shout out to you. Happy Saturday, Santiago. A lot of people have said that. I don't see it, but a lot of people have said that I resemble Lauren Hill. So just shout out to you, sir. Shout out to you. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my screen and then we can get into the content. So this case is in regards of, I think, Ashley Long. Ashley Long, it was a death. She was found. The cops found foul smell in a house, and it's a lot of things that's going on in there. So when I saw some of the video, I was like, this is very interesting to go ahead and dissect, and we can see the pathology of sometimes our suspects in these type of cases. Okay. All right, let's see. Never the Biggie. Happy Saturday to you. He said, you look like Laura from Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye? I don't even know what Cat's Eye is. I gotta look at that now. I gotta figure that out. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to you and happy Saturday. Okay, and let's go.
What you are watching is the moment a 29-year-old killer and his retired police officer father enter the Grand Rapids police station in Michigan. They approach the front desk, and the father explains that his son was the last person to see 31-year-old Ashley Young alive, and he would like to provide a statement regarding her disappearance. The only catch, the father is requesting that the police provide his son with an attorney. With a complete lack of awareness, the clerk at the front desk blatantly refuses this request and sends a cold-blooded killer back into the streets. The father-son duo leave the facility, head straight back to their car, and drive off. Just 4 hours later, a 911 call is received by the same police station. The caller, a Grand Rapids local named Mario Nelson, noticed a putrid smell coming from his basement. When he went downstairs, he found a bloody tarp-like bag at the bottom of the staircase.
Our house been having a real bad smell lately. So I just went in the basement, opened the basement door, and there's a tarp and what looks like it could be blood leaking from it. And I want the police to come here ASAP right now and look at it. All right.
Officers were immediately dispatched to the residence. When they arrived, Mario met them on the driveway.
Did you call? For the last couple of days, our apartment just had this real bad smell, you know what I'm saying? So I go in the basement to check the pipes, see if the sewage that flooded or something. Yeah. It's nothing, but it's a tarp at the end of the stairs if I stepped over. But when I come back, I'm shining my flashlight, and it looks like some blood is leaking from under it. And I ain't gonna touch it because I don't want to lift that motherfucker up and see none of that.
After hearing these details, officers rush inside the home and go straight to the bottom of the stairs. They see the bag Mario was talking about and take a peek inside.
And, oh, man. I can see some skin in there, so let's get everybody back out.
Inside the bag, they find the dismembered torso of Ashley Young, who had been missing for 3 full days.
All right, so what I wanted to point out initially is the fact that the potential killer and his father, who was a retired cop, actually went into the police station. They wanted to give them some reference of maybe where this poor lady's body and remains were. Probably was trying to get immunity or for him to get a lawyer, but he was turned away initially saying, no, we're not doing that. So they just walk off scot-free. I find that, how can I put this? I find it a little negligent. And I'm just going to be perfectly honest. As law enforcement, even if you are not able to get them a lawyer, you should literally try to hold them and try your best to try to get as much information, right? If someone comes in and they're telling you something in regards of a missing person or anything, you want to get as much information as possible, and then you can go ahead and get the detectives on it to start, researching and checking if everything is clearing out exactly what this person said. But you don't necessarily just say, well, no, I can't help you, and let a person go away, because now they can take that opportunity to what? Dip. They can take the opportunity to go ahead and run to a different location now. Like maybe his father was able to convince him to go to the police station and turn himself in, and we'll get you a lawyer. You get to explain exactly what happened. But now this doesn't happen anymore. Anything can happen now once he's not in the vicinity. So I just wanted to, touch base on that. That was really odd that they were just able to let him walk out and his father work out, not even take their details or anything, or even, ask a little bit more questions about what do you want to tell us? I find that quite odd. Quite odd. All right, let's see. Hi, how you doing, Ed? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Yeah, I like going over old cases, new cases, current cases. If you've seen this before, I totally understand if you don't want to watch it, but some folks haven't. But happy Saturday. And thank you, Santiago. I truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's go on.
Officers promptly taped off the crime scene as others continued their conversation with Mario.
I know you probably can't tell me, but is that...
It's a crime scene.
Yeah, all right.
Crime scene.
Did you happen to touch that tarp?
No,
okay.
no.
Did she touch the tarp?
No, she didn't even go down there. It was just me.
Okay.
Yep, right. But that's what I'm saying. When
who's this Jared Chance guy?
That's the guy who lives upstairs.
He lives upstairs.
Yeah, this is Jared Chance. This him.
With a potential suspect now on their radar, Mario's upstairs roommate, Jared Chance. The officers wondered if Mario had any details about the victim.
Have you ever seen the person that they're talking about?
I seen her like a couple days ago when I went up there. Like he told me to come up there and smoke with him. So I just remember his white female, maybe like brunette, maybe like brownish red.
Did he say how he knew her?
He said what I say. I was like, I you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you finna hit it because I ain't never seen her before.
Right.
He like, no, I'm just finna woo out. She's finna leave in a couple seconds because I got somebody else coming over.
Did she come in that Focus?
Yep.
That was her car?
Yep.
Did you see her leave? Or did you...
No.
You left first?
Yeah, I left.
Did you ever see her leave?
Nope.
Not only did Mario confirm that the Ford Focus in the driveway belonged to Ashley, but he also said that the day after he saw her at the house, his roommate asked him for help getting into her vehicle. Apparently, Ashley had locked her keys inside.
You notice anything weird in the car?
Man, it was
normal?
messy. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm a person, I try to mind my business, you know what I'm saying? So I try not to be all, my girlfriend, she be, out the window all the time.
Right, right.
So, like, I'd never, honestly, God, if it wasn't for her, I never would even, because, like, when he knock on the door, I don't even answer. I just let him, like, forget it, because he normally high off weed and Xanax, you know what I'm saying? I can't have a conversation with nobody like that. He sent me a message a couple days ago, like, if somebody come looking for me, don't tell them I ain't here.
Okay. He said that to you?
Yeah, it text message.
A couple of days ago he said that?
Yeah. Yeah. Can y'all check to see if he in the house? Because he do got a gun.
Taking this statement about the roommate being armed very seriously, lead detective Kelly Brait called in backup to execute a search warrant on the house.
Police on a search warrant! Come to the door! Grand Rapids police search warrant anybody on the second level!
As they make their way to the second level, where Jared lived, officers find a garbage bag in a cardboard box. Inside, they found Ashley's arms and legs, but her head, hands, and feet were still missing.
Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands on your head! Hands on top of your head! On top of your head, man!
Jared was arrested and immediately thrown into the back of a police cruiser. During the drive back to the police station, Jared sat silently the entire time. Upon arrival, he was quickly brought to the interrogation.
So I had to stop there. That poor woman to be brutalized and mutilated like that is... This is how you know that in some cases, when we have cases when someone takes someone's life, when they start doing things like this is how you know they have some deep-seated issues, right? Because it wasn't just only about taking the person's life. We definitely know it wasn't about self-defense. You wanted to punish this person And that's what part of the dismemberment is to punish that person. Some people believe in old folklores, if you remove pieces from people's body, that their soul is never going to rest, right? Because they'll be literally in purgatory, walking around trying to find their limbs or whatever not that's missing. Those are ones who believe in that folklore. So it seems very like demonic to me to do things like that. It's bad enough that you took a person's life, but why are you literally spreading their pieces all over? And if you wanted to say, oh well, I dismembered them because I want to get rid of evidence. How are you getting rid of evidence if you have her arms and her foot and everything stacked in a little box in your little cubby thing that you consider a closet in your house? Like, how that's not getting rid of evidence, that's keeping evidence, right? So I can't even frame it that is the reason behind it. We don't know whether or not if this is personal. I do believe it is somewhat personal. However, I do believe about punishment, right? Trying to punish somebody in death and in life. That's what I see going on here, but it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. Let's see. Kylo, how you doing? How you doing? Happy Saturday. I hope you're having a great day today. Happy Saturday. The Adventures of Smokey and the Bandit. You think? Yeah, I do think. I do. That's crazy. Yeah, sweetheart. It's so crazy. Total psycho. Yes. Total psycho. Unbelievable. All right, let's go on. He didn't put up no fight. I'm surprised that he didn't leave. Like I said, if he and his father went to the police department 3 days prior, tried to give this evidence, the police brushed him off and he went on his merry way, then I would think that he would try to relocate or disappear, go somewhere, I don't know, like join the military, who knows, right? I would think that he would be trying to make himself scarce at this time, but he didn't. He went back to a regular day, normal day, until his neighbor, or I guess the person who's renting the upstairs part of the house, was like, listen, I'm smelling something. I went down there, I saw a body. I don't have nothing to do with this. Let me tell you everything that I know, which was definitely good on him. Okay, it was definitely good on him to get a hand of it, show him the text messages, completely eliminate him out of being a potential suspect, or even helping to assist this guy. It was very good on him to do that. But let's see. Kayla said maybe he was going to remove the box later. It could have been a possibility, but my thing is, Kayla, is this happened 4 days. This happened 4 days ago. Him and his retired cop father went down to the police station. He tried to get a lawyer, which means that he was trying to get immunity. He was trying to get immunity or some assistance prior to telling them anything that he knew about Mrs. Long. And they was like, no, we're not doing that. So him and his father walked out of the police station. This is 4 days after that. 4 days after that. Yes. And if we can get the likes up, I will truly appreciate it. It does help the channel. It does help me to continue to come on and go over these cases with you guys. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go on.
Interrogation room.
Want me to take them off, the cuffs?
Yeah, you gonna be decent with us? Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Hi, Jared.
By this point, the detectives had figured out that he was the same person that visited the police station with his father earlier that day.
We appreciate the fact that you came in earlier, and I'm sorry you got turned away.
Yeah, no, I just came in just because I read on Facebook that the last person this person was with was me, so I was just concerned. I'm trying to get some information about it, but my dad just recommended me to just ask for the advice of the attorney, and because I don't really know what the hell's going on, so I don't want to like sit here and talk about shit that may incriminate me or whatever in any kind of way, because I don't know what's going on. So I just don't want to say nothing right now.
The only other information that Jared gave the detectives was that he and Ashley had been friends for years and just recently reconnected. On the night of her disappearance, they finally decided to meet up and went to a pub called Mulligan's. However, he claimed that they eventually parted ways because Ashley lost her phone somewhere, and that was the last time he saw her. After providing this little tidbit, Jared froze up and refused to speak with the detectives any further. While he sat behind bars, investigators continued to build their case against him. The police first sat down with Ashley's mother, Christine, to break the tragic news. Christine was not happy that it took the officers this long to speak to Jared about Ashley. You see, Christine knew that Ashley was headed to Jared's house when she went missing, and she had already reported this to the police. Ashley's family had even been posting all over Facebook that Jared was the last person to see Ashley, and Christine had been bombarding him with phone calls from the moment her daughter disappeared.
Hello, Jared. My name is Christine Young. I'm looking for my daughter. She was last with you. Is she with you? She needs to contact me. Tell her that I'm going to contact the police department to do a missing person.
Still, upon hearing that her daughter had been found dead, she refused to believe that the body was Ashley until the police did a DNA test. So, the detectives gathered Christine's DNA and sent it to the crime lab to compare it to the victim. At this point, the detectives still hadn't established a timeline between Ashley's disappearance and the discovery of her body. So they asked Christine and some of Ashley's friends if they had any information that could help. According to Christine, the last time she heard from Ashley was on November 28th, 2018, when Ashley left her mommy voicemail saying she was driving and would get back to her soon.
I cannot listen to your message right now. I'm driving. When I get to my destination, I will listen to what you have to say. I love you, and I will talk to you later, okay? But right now I'm driving.
But after leaving this voicemail, Ashley went radio silent. A full day and a half went by with no response from her. This lack of communication was extremely out of character for Ashley, who was always on her phone. So Christine immediately went to Facebook for help. That's when Christine learned that Ashley was with Jared right before she disappeared. So she began calling him relentlessly. Jared eventually answered one of Christine's calls and told her he was with Ashley on the night she disappeared, but she ended up going home with his friend Demetrius. When Christine called Demetrius, he said that he had no idea who Ashley was and nobody was at his apartment. Christine knew Jared was lying. 3 days went by with no sign of Ashley, and the police still hadn't stepped in. So, on December 2nd, 2018, just hours before Ashley's body was discovered, one of Ashley's close friends, named Eva Molina, went to Jared's house to do some investigating herself. Unfortunately, nobody answered the door. But while she stood on the porch, Eva noticed a horrendous odor coming from a nearby mop bucket. She then noticed a garbage bin on his porch with work boots sitting on top. She began digging through this garbage bin and discovered several heavy-duty cleaning supplies, including latex gloves and lemon-scented ammonia. She also found firm grip work gloves and a broken saw blade. She then went to speak with Jared's downstairs neighbor, and Mario's girlfriend answered the door.
Hello, Jared.
Eva explained that Ashley was missing and asked if they had seen her. But Mario and his girlfriend said they had no idea what she was talking about, so Eva left.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jared.
However, Mario soon realized that Ashley was probably the girl that visited Jared a few days earlier, so he finally decided to investigate the horrible smell that was coming from the basement. After assembling this timeline, investigators decided to look into Jared's bank records and learned that he had gone to a store called Tracy's Market several times following Ashley's disappearance. There, he purchased heavy-duty cleaning supplies, including the latex gloves and ammonia that Eva found in his garbage. During one of his trips to Tracy's Market, Jared can be seen placing an orange bag into the garbage bin right outside the store. The detectives went to the store themselves to dig through the trash, and they found more latex gloves, 2 pairs of Jared's pants with Ashley's blood on them, and several items belonging to Ashley. The detectives also extracted the data from Jared's phone, and in his most recent conversation with Demetrius, Jared tells him to answer Christine's calls and tell her that Ashley just left for work.
Boy, oh boy. This guy is one of the sloppiest, I will say sloppiest killers that I have ever seen in my entire life. he just left everything there. And like I said, about the whole her hands and her arms residing in his closet, and you dismembered her, but you put the body down in the basement. Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's still like trying to, like, I'm still trying to rationalize this. Like, why would you do that? If anything, why not get rid of everything? Then you're messy by leaving your extra clothes, the clothes that you did the horrible act. You're leaving it there. You're leaving gloves there. You're leaving it in the garbage can. You don't take out your garbage. It's insane. And then now to see that, you know, her family were out there looking for him. He was literally trying to throw it off on his friend Demetrius. He was like, "Oh, she went home with him." Like, huh? He didn't even know the girl. That's the bad thing. He didn't even know the girl. And then now to realize by them getting access to his phone and messages to see that he was sending a message to Demetrius saying, "Hey, if her mom calls, tell her that she was with you and or whatever now, or she left and went somewhere else." That's a lot of evidence against this man. A lot of evidence. I mean, to me personally, that's a lot of evidence. He was very messy. He tried to get other people involved. This is really sad. This is really, really sad. And you know, we need to try to find intent. I always tell you that there's 3 things that makes a case. You have to have intent, you have to have means, and I forgot the other one. I'm kind of a little hungry, but yeah, you have to have intent, you have to have means, and opportunity. You have to have opportunity. Those are the 3 things that creates a case, right? Especially what prosecutors are looking for. So, like, wow. Let's see. The Adventures of Smokey and the Bandit said this kid should never ever see the light of day again. I agree. I really do agree. Like, he's really horrible for this. It shows that this was not planned. It shows that it wasn't premeditated, correct? However, we have to find out what led to it, right? Meaning, was he planning on doing this because he was angry with her? Was it a fit of rage, right? We have to find out whether or not if he's on medication. Like, these are like so many different ways that we can go about why this may happen. The one thing that we do know is that they had a prior relationship and they started to rekindle their relationship back again. We don't know. Maybe she didn't want to be in a relationship with him anymore, right? Maybe she just wanted to hit it and quit it. Who knows? And that led to a fit of rage. We don't know. We're going to find out, though. He's just freestyling. In a way, he definitely is, because as messy as he is, he's definitely freestyling. He didn't plan this out all the way. No. He did not plan this out all the way. Absolutely not. Nope. Something happened. I don't know if he was trying to sexually assault her or something like that. She probably said that she was going to go to cops. We don't know what happened, but something definitely led to him taking her life and then now dismembering her body. And this is just wicked. But let's go on.
As we mentioned earlier, Demetrius told Christine that he had no idea who Ashley was. This response clearly got on Jared's nerves. You're fucking stupid, bro. You just f***ed me. Bro, delete all these messages. It seemed that Jared had lied to Christine about Ashley's whereabouts. In fact, the investigators gathered surveillance footage near Mulligan's, the pub that Jared and Ashley went to before she disappeared. The footage made it clear that Ashley stuck with Jared the entire night and definitely didn't go home with Demetrius. The detectives also learned through Jared's location data that he had gone to his parents' house around the time that Ashley went missing. So, the police immediately executed a search warrant for their home. In the living room, they found a reciprocating saw peeking out from under one of the couches. The saw blade had been snapped off, leaving just a small piece behind. This matched the saw blade found in Jared's garbage bin. It also appeared that there was still some hair and rotting flesh jammed into the saw. The crime lab confirmed that the samples of flesh and hair stuck in the saw belonged to Ashley. Jared's parents, James and Barbara Chance, were both brought into the interrogation room for questioning. Barbara said that the last time she spoke with Jared was on December 1st.
When was the last time you'd spoken to Jared? He called me and said he lost his job. He said, "You gotta get over here right away, Mom. Please come." And what day was that? That was Saturday morning.
After hearing that Jared was having a mental crisis, the whole family, including Jared's mom, dad, and his brother Conrad, all hopped in their car and made their way to Jared's house.
You go to his house. Right. I gotta put stuff in the car. I got some stuff.
Did you even get out?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Mr. Chance got out?
He might have to help.
I thought the stuff he was getting was some stuff from work because there were boots in one item that looked like work clothes.
Jared's work stuff included several cardboard boxes and garbage
Hey,
bags,
Moa,
the dirty
darling.
mop
It's good
bucket,
to see
and a
you.
garbage
Happy
bin
Saturday.
filled to the brim.
You don't say smell in there.
Yeah, there was a smell.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Bad smell?
But I thought it was the mop.
You're in the medical field.
Right.
Did it smell like
Smelled stinky.
possibly remnants of a body? I mean, is that,
Kind of like, I don't know, like blood or like stinky. With that mop in there, it smelled stinky.
Apparently unaware that Ashley's body parts were in the car with them, the family drove straight.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I do not believe that. You have someone that's literally in the medical field, and you mean to tell me that she doesn't know the difference of smelling dry blood or smelling of decay of a body? She should know that even when you're in the hospital and you're dealing with very ill people. There's who's almost there, right? They're about to, just, go home to the good Lord. They even have a certain smell. They even have a certain smell that lets you know, like, hey, something's, this is not, this is not good. So for her to say that she didn't recognize it, all four of them didn't recognize it, but I love the fact that we started to understand a little bit of his mindset about why he was so unorganized or wasn't even trying to pick up things and everything like that. He was being enabled by his parents and his family, right? They went with him to go get boots, medical stuff, all these things, and they thought that they were helping him because remember what they just said, speaking to the detective. He was having a mental breakdown because he lost his job. He didn't know what to do. He don't know how to pay, things is coming down, the bills is coming. So they all went over there because he was having a mental breakdown. But they're helping him assist to get A, B, C, and D, and nothing ever came to their mind. Question like, son, why? I mean, are you getting a new boots for a new job? We don't really know what his job was, but maybe he could have been in construction. Maybe he could have been some form of laborer or a yardsman. We don't know, but you would ask a couple of questions. Okay, you lost your job. What are you going to do? And then with the medical thing, like, oh, okay, what are you doing now? Are you going to go work in a hospital? I know they're hiring. We can go look for this. Y'all just went with him to get all this stuff. And there's nothing against that because y'all didn't really know. But y'all did know that something was mentally going on with him, that he could not handle it together. And this is why he reached out to you guys. I don't know. It just seems very, very weird to me. Very weird to me. Adventures of Smokey and the Bandit said the saw blade broke as he was cutting her. Yeah, absolutely. Mary, how you doing? Happy Saturday. She said, I smelled death once and I have recognized it ever since. Exactly. Marie, exactly. I smelled death. Death smells completely different. Completely different. That is a scent that is rememberable. You will never forget it. It is unlike any smell that you have ever smelled before. So I find it very, very odd that her remains, because remember, she was already cut up. So she had remains and he had it in the truck or in the car, and they were in the car and they did not smell anything. I find that I don't believe that. I'm sorry. And then her being a medical professional, I don't believe that at all. I never smelt it, but from what I hear is unmistakable. Yeah, it is an unmistakable smell. Absolutely. Absolutely. He just snapped. Yeah, it seemed like he did. Right. Your senses know it's bad. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Brandon, darling. It's good to see you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hope everything is well with you, sir. Hope everything is well. Let's see. All right. Let's go on.
To the police station. As you already know, Jared and his dad went in to speak with somebody and demanded an attorney, but they got rejected. So they left the police station, walked around a Costco for a bit, then eventually made their way back to Jared's house. They unloaded the items that they packed into the car earlier, then drove Jared back to their house where he spent the night.
Then Sunday morning, he drops this bombshell on you. Can you tell me what he told you?
He said there was an accident. They had been drinking and they were playing with the gun and she got shot in the face.
And he's crying, you say?
Crying, sobbing. I said, well, what she did? And he said, yeah.
Who was holding the gun when it just went off?
She was.
That's what he told you?
Yeah, because I said, did you kill her? He said, no, Mom, I would never kill anybody. I would never kill anybody. She was my friend. And he panicked. He didn't know what to do.
He blew his mind, you know, and then he just didn't know what to do. And instead of sticking with her and calling 911 or whatever he needed to do to get her some type of first aid, he didn't do it. He had this label on his head, you know, I'm a felon, this is gonna happen. But he couldn't think that straight. What you did is oh God, man.
Mm-hmm. Does he tell you what he did after this?
Cut off her feet and her hands and her head.
So you asked him if he cut the body up, and he indicated to you that he did?
Yeah.
Did he say what he did with the parts of the body?
Well, it sounded like he distributed them all over.
He said, I drove around with them. I drove around and then I got rid of them, put them in garbage or trash cans or something. I said, where? He didn't know.
Since the detectives still hadn't found Ashley's hands or head, they didn't have any hard evidence to disprove that the gun was in Ashley's hands when it went off.
So now this changes everything. Number one, they knew the whole thing. So when he went down with his father to the police station, they already knew. He had already told them what he did to Ashley. My thing is, why didn't you not turn your son in? Why didn't you turn your son in? Especially you, Dad. You, Mr. Retired Cop yourself, you were supposed to turn your son in. It was great that you tried to get him down there, but you was supposed to call them and be like, listen, my son did something very bad. I'm gonna need y'all to come get him, and then we can work out this whole lawyer situation. But like I said, they was coddling him. They were coddling him and they let it slide. They didn't even say anything. Why are they now being run down to the station to tell these detectives everything they knew for the past 3 to 4 days? Why, like the fact that they're sitting there just having this type of conversation when they had all this information to the detail that yes, he removed hands and arms and her head and stuff like that. The fact that you said that you even smelled blood in the garbage can or smell like or smell blood on the mop or the stinchy smell. The fact that you said that he had all these garbage bags and stuff that was inside his car and you literally helped him put those garbage bags that was in a box inside the house. And I'm not even going to doubt it that you knew that her remains was in there. The way how y'all are speaking is making me believe that y'all assisted in this. Not that y'all was just like, oh my God, y'all just so shocked that your son would do this. I would never expect him to do this. I didn't raise him to do this. No, it seemed like you literally helped him. At this point, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Smokey and the Bandit said Dad is going to be in trouble. They knew. Doesn't matter how long they knew. Right. Concealing a murder. Right. They didn't even go. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and block you and have a nice day. Anyway. They should be in jail too. Yeah, I agree. If he found out, we know nothing. That's once, yeah, I don't know. It's just sad. Like, this is absolutely sad for now. It makes sense why he dismembered her, right? Because now they're saying that she was shot and he told his parents that she shot herself. They were horsing around with a gun. She had the gun in her hand and she shot herself. But it makes perfect sense now why you was dismembering her. You wanted to get rid of her hands because, matter of fact, you wouldn't even get rid of her hands if it was her hands that shot herself. Why would you keep that on? Clearly, you were just dismembering her and scattering her pieces everywhere because probably more than just her being shot happened to her, right? And your DNA is probably all over her. Now we have to figure out where's the weapon. Can they get the weapon from the parents? Because do the parents have the weapon? Remember, he went to go spend the night at their house after doing all this, right? After doing all this to poor Ashley, he went and spent the night at his house. Do the parents have the weapon? Do we need to find out what type of weapon it is? We need to find her head, right? We need to find where the shot was, and so we can look at the bullet. Like, this case so far is a whole mess. It's a whole mess, a whole can of worms of nonsense. Brandon says, sound like they helped him and not holding him accountable. Yes, exactly, Brandon. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. But let's go on.
Considering how far Jared was willing to go to cover up Ashley's death, the detective was certain that everyone in the Chance family played a part in concealing this crime.
I think there's more to the story. And I think you know more. And that's what do you think I know? You tell me. We both know that woman didn't shoot her, don't we? I don't know. I really don't know that. I'm going by what he told me. He told you more. I know he did. I know he told you more. And I know you're trying to be a dad. You're trying to protect. No, it's not about being a dad, man. I will tell you what he told me if I can remember it and recall it. And I'm gathering that they were around with this damn gun. And he pointed, he said she took the gun. Okay, let me stop you. You just said he pointed, and then you stopped yourself. No, I said that. You said he pointed. I meant she. I know, but you're making these slips.
Suddenly, the detective dropped the news that both James and Barbara were going to be charged with perjury and as accessories to a felony after the fact.
Absolutely.
The prosecutor's office has charged you with perjury, and I believe an accessory after the fact.
I just don't know what to do. I want to be cooperative because I don't feel like I perjured myself, but at the same time, I don't know.
I'm a victim of this too, and I'm offended that I've been charged with a felony because of the way the system is set up. Oh, you're trying to find this young lady's body parts, and if I...
Not him saying that he's a victim too. Good grief, sir. Good grief. You're not a victim. You're not a victim, sir. You had every means to tell these cops what happened, what your son did. You tried to do the right thing. I will give you that. You went with your son and told him to go and, turn yourself in, right? But when y'all didn't get the type of response that you wanted from the police department, you went back to regular day life like nothing ever happened, as if a woman wasn't with your son who lost her life and then her body was being scattered all over the place and put in different parts and stuff. And you, your wife, and your other son assisted in that, trying to lie and pretend that you didn't smell death in the back of that car, trying to lie and say that you didn't assist putting those boxes in the house with her body in it in that boy's house, acting like you didn't know. Why was he going to the store to go get medical gloves and ammonia and strong cleaning products? Like you didn't know. You knew. You knew the whole entire time. Like, come on now. Like you knew. You knew what was going on. Y'all been knew. Y'all helped him. Y'all helped him try to cover it up. And then when that smell started to reek really bad, and your neighbors or the people that was renting on the downstairs or the upstairs of the house, when they started to like, hey, like what's going on? We need to start looking and checking. Now that's when y'all went to the police department to try to get good graces by coming forward and stuff, like trying to help out the situation. You got turned away. Y'all was like, all right, well, hey. But for you to sit up there and call yourself a victim, you should be ashamed of yourself. You could have had told on your son. If the police didn't want to take him right then and there, get him a lawyer stuff, you could have recalled the cops again and said, listen, I know of a murder and I know where some of that person who was murdered body parts are. That's what you could have done. But you didn't. You didn't. And you're not a victim of being a parent. We get it. You know what I'm saying? We understand it. But you was in this career field. You know what's up. You know what's up. You have to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing. Even when you don't want to. Smokey and Bandit said, good. They're charged. Yeah. They should have pleaded the fifth and got an attorney. They could have, but like they have already. They thought that they weren't going to be in perjury, right? They thought that they weren't going to be charged as concealing a crime. That's what they thought. So that's why they was speaking very open and freely about, yeah, this is what my son told me. He said A, B, and C, D. We did that. They didn't think that they were going to actually be involved, in it as much as they are involved in it right now. Marie said, wow, just wow, what dreadful people. Yeah. Let's see. Buster Hyman says, snitches get stitches. Well, I mean, in this case, I don't know. Something very wrong in that gene pool. I wonder what kind of crooked shit dad did over the years as a cop. I mean, at this point, it could be a possibility. Because for him to act like, he didn't know what he was supposed to do, like he didn't know the protocols and stuff, that's very odd to me. But then again, when you're dealing with people, your loved ones, your family, your children and stuff like that, a lot of things that people know what they're supposed to do, that should go right out the window, right? It's biases. But let's go on.
To help you, I would, but I don't know where they are. I will never forget this experience. This is absolutely atrocious, what's being done to us. We didn't commit this crime. Our son committed the crime. We did not help him in the commission of that crime, and now we're being persecuted because of a system that's being used against us. And to me, it sounds almost like communism.
God, what did I do?
Following these interviews, James and Barbara were both thrown behind bars. But not long after, they were able to post bail and were free to go while awaiting their trial. Media outlets immediately reached out to Christine Young to get her reaction to this news. She was furious. She agreed to participate in an interview, but requested to do it right outside of James and Barbara's home.
Why have you decided that you want to speak?
Because I want to bring my daughter home. The parents know something. There are people out there that know something. I just want my baby. I really do. I want her home. Ashley no longer has a voice, and I have to be her voice.
What do you want to say to the Chances, who are now out on bond? What do you want to say to them?
You don't deserve to be out. You need to be behind bars with your son. You knew. I want my daughter home. Barbara, as a mother. As a mother. I just want my baby home.
What is it like going through this?
I would never want anyone to ever have to go through this. No one. Not even them.
Jared was confronted with clips from this report during a jailhouse interview the next day, but he still refused to tell Christine where her daughter's head was.
Ashley no longer has a voice, and I have to be her voice.
I was Ashley's mom last night. She just wants to bring the rest of her baby home. There are pieces of her that are missing. Where is she? Can you just give her some kind of peace and just tell her where she is?
I'd love to give her some kind of peace, I really would. But I don't know what to do here.
I mean, you were friends with Ashley. She seemed like a lovely girl, a bright girl.
She was, yeah.
What did you tell your parents about this?
I can't do this. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm sorry, Ashley's mom. I apologize, I can't do this right now.
Do you have anything else to say to Ashley's mom?
Jared was initially charged with mutilation of a dead body and concealing the death of an individual. The plan was to upgrade these charges to include first-degree murder. However, since the investigators had no evidence to prove premeditation, Jared was ultimately charged with second-degree murder, as well as tampering with evidence. For the next 9 months, Jared remained behind bars, experimenting with a new hairstyle, before chopping it all off on September 6, 2019. Just 4 days before his trial was set to begin, when Jared was offered a plea deal. Jared would have to admit his guilt and provide details of Ashley's murder, including where he disposed of her missing body parts, in order to get a lesser sentence. However, Jared denied this plea deal.
What would you like to do?
I'd like to go trial.
All right, we'll do that.
His trial began on September 10th, 2019, and the prosecution kicked things off with their opening statement. Despite the overwhelming evidence against Jared, the challenge for the state was to prove that Ashley's death was not an accident, and Jared committed this murder with intention.
There's a brown cardboard box. Right beside that box is a pair of women's boots. And inside that box, wrapped up, are 2 arms and
So before we go ahead and we look at some of the trial, I'm going to say something. I think that the reason why he won't give up where her missing body parts are is because they have his parents' DNA on it. It has his family DNA on it. He already admitted that he did it. He said that it was an accident. His parents have already stated that he said that he did it and it was an accident. But there is something behind the fact that why he would not even do that for the grieving mother that he's on the phone with him. He says that this girl is his friend. She was a good girl. She was a good friend and everything of that sort. But he would not even help his mother for her to have her daughter in, remains given to her so she could rest in peace. And I'm thinking because it has other people's DNA in it that he is now trying to protect. That's what I believe. I could definitely be wrong, but I'm getting that. I'm getting the reason why he will not tell them where the head is at, where her hands and things of that sort is because it has others people's DNA on it, and he doesn't want them involved in it as much as they are involved in it right now. However, it is also true. It would initially you would look at this and be like, maybe it was first degree murder, but if they don't have any text message prior or even Google searches showing that, hey, how do I dismember a body? What can I use and stuff like that? Things of that sort. If they don't have any of that type of evidence that they got from his cell phone or his computer and stuff, then it's really hard to prove that he intentionally lured her over there to hang out with her to do this to her. However, second degree manslaughter, okay, that's definitely, I would say that's definitely a given, right? Because he actually did this act and this crime. I really do think that he didn't do it alone. That's the bad thing about it. Like when it comes down to covering up, dismembering her, I don't even think that was all done by himself. I think that somebody else was involved in that. I really, really do. But we're going to now look at the prosecutor's job. So the prosecutor's job right now is to take all the evidence that they have, paint the narrative that there is no more that we need to confirm that this guy did this to this woman. Cruel act. It wasn't because he was necessarily scared. Even if she did shoot herself, he did not try to render aid. He did not call 911, to let them know that it was an emergency that happened. So all that is going to lead to his character, right? They have to paint his character as the monster that he is, that it was all about himself. He did not care about this girl. This girl was not a friend as much as he tried to claim that he thought highly of her, because how do you do that to someone that you think highly of, right? The defense case for Jared is going to be that this is a man who lost his marbles, pretty much. He has no history of acting in this type of way or even being aggressive or anything. He lost his cool. A situation happened, an accident happened. He got scared, and all he thought was that everything else is falling around in my life. I don't want this to be falling around in my life, and then I don't want to have to suffer, or my family have to suffer for the mistakes that I've made. So it's going to be the defense job to paint his character as he still has humanity in him, even though he did this horrible crime, and he took it another level further by mutilating a corpse. That is the defense goal in this case right now. We're going to see this. I want to literally look at some of the messages before we go on. Let's see. Smoking and the Bandit said, Dad may have helped him cut her up. Who knows? Maybe the mom too. Right. Gerbil said it proves he did it, which is why he won't give up the parts. And I mean, that too, it does prove that he did it, but they already had enough evidence of her blood being on his jeans, her blood being on his mop, her body being in the basement, her arms being in his closet. But yeah, I definitely agree. Maybe this is the family business. Maybe many more bodies. That's scary to think about. That's definitely scary to think about. And shout out to Moa. Thank you so much for your 10 joules of sending a gold coin. I truly appreciate you, Moya. Thank you. Thank you, dear. I truly appreciate you. His father had the info on how to discard. No need to Google. Yeah, pertaining to what his job was, his retired job was. Yeah. And then Moya said, once again, he sent flowers, 30 joules. Thank you so much, Moa. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then again, Moa sent another floating heart, 10 joules. Shout out to you, Moa. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate all your support that you're giving. Thank you so much. Let's see. Bruce Wright said he won't give it up because he still has the last piece of control of her being. That's definitely a part of that too. Shout out to you, Bruce. Happy Saturday. I agree. When we go to the psychology, when we think about the psychology of it all of this is about, a lot of it is about control, especially when you feel like you are losing control in your life. The one thing you want to do is try to maintain control with other things, whether if it's an object or even another person. So I definitely agree with you there. Let's see. Gerbil said women killers don't do well in prison, so murder looks much better than murder. Murder 2 looks much better than murder 1. Yeah, I agree. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. And Smoking the Bandit said they know he did it, but to what degree is what they need. Right. Well, let's see what they say.
2 legs. There are no hands. There are no feet. Whatever killed Ashley killed her from the neck up. There are no wounds on her torso, no wounds on her arms or her legs that would have caused her death. More than likely, blunt force trauma to the head, gunshot to the head.
Although the prosecution did not point out a specific motive for Ashley's murder, they claimed that Jared's meticulous attempt to cover up her death was a clear indication of his guilt. For the defense's opening statement, there was no denying that Jared mutilated Ashley's corpse, but they argued that without Ashley's head or hands, there was zero evidence to prove that Jared had intentionally caused her death.
Everyone wants justice for Ashley. No one can tell you how Miss Young died. Problem is that some people want vengeance, and vengeance makes people act hasty and not use reason. Your job is to think critically and to make the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Jared committed murder in the second degree. At the end of the day, this is how much evidence you're going to hear that Jared caused Miss Young's death. 0.
The state's first witness was Christine Young, who was handed a photo of Ashley and was asked to describe the type of person her daughter was.
Miss Young, I know it's very difficult. Do you recognize the individual as number one?
That's my daughter, Ashley.
What kind of person was Ashley?
Ashley was kind. She was loving. She was infectious. Everybody wanted to be around her. She was caring. She was giving. She would go without to help somebody else.
She also detailed the lies Jared told her before the police got involved in Ashley's disappearance.
Did you ask the defendant if he knew where Ashley was?
Yes.
And what was his response?
He said she was going to pick up her phone and then she was going back to Kalamazoo, the city, because she had to work at third shift.
Did that make any sense to you?
Not at all.
Why is that?
Because Ashley works first shift.
Demetrius Taylor, who Jared initially said was the last person to see Ashley, explained how Jared asked him to lie to Christine as well.
He said that his friend mom was gonna call me, tell her that she came by my house, used my phone, and left.
Jared's brother Conrad also took the stand to describe the day of December 1st, 2018, when he and his parents picked up Jared in their vehicle and went to the police station.
What do you remember being put into the car?
Specifically a mop and a cardboard box with a black bag with something in it.
However, most of Conrad's memory was hazy because apparently he was intoxicated on that day.
You're sitting in the back seat.
It's been a while, AJ. Good to see you.
Brother get into the vehicle.
Happy Saturday.
Okay. Is he sitting? Is the mop between you and your brother? I don't remember. You remember traveling southeast on Kalamazoo Avenue down to 44th Street. No, remember. You remember going to Costco? No. Were you drunk or high that day? Yes. You were? I was high.
He did remember an incident that happened weeks before Ashley's death, where Jared was being extremely reckless with his .22 revolver.
That night, when your brother and Ashley came home, the two of you were smoking weeds, did your brother take the gun out?
Yeah.
And Ashley's with you when the gun comes out?
Oh, yeah.
What did your brother do with the gun?
He pointed it at me and...
You're making a motion like you're pulling a trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he pointed the gun at you and he pulled the trigger. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Did you see him check that gun, see if it was loaded before he pointed it at you?
No.
Jared's sketchy behavior while handling a deadly weapon made everybody uncomfortable, including Ashley, who was very familiar with gun safety.
What was Ashley's reaction to this?
She said, "You're never supposed to do that."
The state also called Mario Nelson to the stand, and he described in detail how the...
Now, the brother's testimony is kind of wishy-washy, but that last statement is very crucial, right? Because if his own brother pointed the gun at him, didn't check whether or not if it was loaded or unloaded, what would not make you believe that he didn't do that to Ashley? They said that Ashley was present and Ashley knows about weapons and she knows the protocols of how to handle a weapon. What makes you think that he didn't do that to Ashley? It doesn't make no sense. Now knowing that Ashley is aware of protocols of how to handle a gun, there's no way in hell that Ashley would make that mistake to shoot herself. So that's very crucial information. I hope that that is used wisely with the prosecutor against him and against his claim that his brother already admitted that they were high, intoxicated, and that Jared was handling the gun like very dangerously, even to the point where you were scared because he didn't check to see whether or not it was loaded when he wants to play Russian roulette with everybody in the house. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But now we're about to look at the this is the roommate that I was telling you about, or the housemate, I should say. And he's going to give his reference to what he told the detectives, and we'll see what else goes on. Let me go ahead and play a little bit more.
The smell coming from the basement developed over time.
When a house first starts stinking, it's like somebody was maybe cooking, I don't even know. It was like a terrible burning smell, like something was burning. And then it started to smell like sewer, like maybe the sewer was overflowed or something like that.
He then described the moment he found the bag containing Ashley's remains.
Once I come back up to the stairs, there's a tarp laying there, and it's like just a stream of blood out of it.
What do you do when you see a tarp with a string of blood?
Run upstairs and have my girlfriend call the cops.
He said that right away he had a feeling that Jared was responsible, and remembered a disturbing conversation he had with Jared just a couple of weeks before the body was discovered.
Do you remember a conversation you had with the defendants that involved him talking about?
All right, shout out to Big D for sending 100 jewels. Sent a Sunday. Thank you so much, Big D. I truly appreciate it. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. And admin says, repent and give your heart to Jesus and loves you. Amen, amen. Let's go on.
Killing someone?
Yeah, he told me his dad used to be in the Irish mob, that he knows if he ever got into a situation that he knows how to clean up blood and things like that.
Throughout this entire conversation, Jared was once again casually playing with his .22 revolver.
While you're watching the defendant handle this gun, how did you feel?
Uncomfortable to say the least. You know, it just made me nervous because I know what a gun is capable of. You know what I'm saying? And I know him, but I don't know what he's capable of.
The defense, however, said that even if Ashley's death was caused by Jared's reckless handling of a firearm, it still doesn't prove intent. One of their witnesses, the bartender from Mulligan's Pub, said that Ashley and Jared seemed to be having a great night with zero signs of distress, which also seemed to be the case in the surveillance footage from that night, where Ashley can be seen happily talking on the phone. On just day 3 of the trial, it was already time for the closing arguments.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an easy
We just said that earlier, didn't we, Smokey?
I do not have to prove how he killed her. I don't have to prove that he shot her. I don't have to prove that he hit her in the head with a baseball bat or a hammer. What I have to prove is that he caused her death.
The prosecutor then pulled out the saw that Jared used and asked the jury, if a fellow juror died right beside you and you had nothing to do with their death, would you chop them up?
Find him guilty. That's what evidence shows.
I mean, we sat through heaps of evidence that really, quote, Macbeth, their sight, sound, and fury signifying nothing. There was a lot of things presented, but the one question remains, did Jared Chance actually cause Ashley's death?
The jury deliberated for 3 hours before coming back with their verdict.
So, I want y'all to understand what the defense did. The reason why the defense is saying he's honing on the fact that there's no concrete evidence that can confirm if Jared took Ashley's life. There's only concrete evidence to prove that Jared mutilated Ashley's body, right? What the prosecutor was supposed to say is, okay, yeah, we don't have definitive to know that he took Ashley's life. However, we do know that he did not seek aid when the situation occurred. He did not call 911. He didn't even render aid. So how do we know that him mutilating her was to actually end her life, right? That's how I would frame it. What if the mutilation was the seal, the deal that she's no longer here? Because maybe she got shot and maybe she still had enough time to get help, and she could probably still be here today with her mom. And if the prosecutor was to hone that on to the jury to make them really think about it, if you had enough time and the possibility to save someone's life, would you do it? Or would you go ahead and quote unquote put them out their misery to save yours? That's how I would do it if I was the prosecutor. But the defense is smart to take this route, because if you go down straight to the basis, there is really nothing that necessarily proves premeditated. There is nothing that actually really proves that he pulled the trigger, because we can't find her head so we can examine the bullet or even the gun, right? Because I haven't even heard any mention of the gun, but they're saying that she got shot. She got shot in the head. So those are the things that he keeps on harping on, like, hey, there's this little window of opening that we can't we don't have any actual evidence to add in there to say, okay, this is what led to such and such and such. So they're hoping that the jury be like, yeah, I mean, he did do what he did, and he should suffer and pay the cost for mutilating a body and all the stuff like that. But we don't know whether or not if he actually killed her or not. Let's see how that plays out, though. Let's see how it plays out. Smokey and the Bandit said he's holding up the very swastika the kid used. Yeah. Yes, Brucey, thank you so much. Hit the like button for me, guys. I truly appreciate it. It does help the channel. It keeps me in the algorithm, especially when I'm away for so long. And share this out to anyone who likes these immersive conversations about these old cases. Sometimes I go over new cases, current cases, but we do it all over here, guys. So thank you. I truly appreciate it. All right, so we're going to have another person that's going to get blocked. Have a good one. Anyway, yes, thank you. Thank you, Moa. Truly appreciate it. Truly, truly appreciate it. They have a saw, and like you said, that could be the murder weapon itself. That's enough. Right. It's all about how you frame it, right? It's very important that you frame it correctly, okay? I tell everybody all the time, when it comes down to these type of cases and trials and stuff, it's really not about who is innocent and who is guilty. It's about how you can frame the narrative and what you can prove to back it. That's really what wins a case, okay? All right, let's go on.
Please.
We, the jury, in the above titled cause, find upon our oaths that the defendant, Jerry Chance, is, under count 1, guilty of second-degree murder, guilty of tampering with evidence, guilty of mutilation of a dead body, guilty of the concealing of the death of an individual. He will be remanded without bond. Sentencing in this matter will be set for October 10th at 1:30 in this courtroom.
Directly following Jared's trial, Christine spoke to the media about what this guilty verdict meant for her and the rest of Ashley's family.
It is a hollow victory for us. Our daughter is not here.
He needs to tell. He needs to talk and tell us where the rest of our daughter is. We got a verdict of guilty, but it's kind of hard to celebrate when we don't have her. He's a coward to not tell and not to speak at trial and tell us where and why.
For the past year, Ashley's family had wanted one thing: to bring all of Ashley home. But even after a guilty verdict, Jared still wouldn't fess up. So on September 10th, 2019, at Jared's sentencing hearing, Christine unleashed all of her built-up anger onto Jared during her impact statement.
Jared Chance, I hate you. I want to rip you limb from limb and discard you like trash. Like what you did to Ashley. This is what's left of my daughter. If I want a hug, I have to hug a box, close my eyes, and pretend that she is hugging me back. You do not deserve to breathe. Ashley was your friend, right? She was your friend. You chose to execute her. You chose to dismember her. You chose to scatter her remains. You will never tell me where she is because you like to torment people. You like to hurt them. You enjoy it. I cry 7 days a week. 7! My mind never stops. Never! I am left with nothing but voicemails and videos that I play over and over just to hear her voice, just to hear her laugh. But we will not let her spirit die. She is always with us. The one thing you are never going to take from us is Ashley's spirit.
Thank you, ma'am, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Everybody in the courtroom seemed to be affected by Christine's statements, including the judge, who handed down a merciless sentence to Jared.
You are clearly a monster without any conscience whatsoever, and you are someone who is a danger to society and should never be allowed free. Accordingly, it is the sentence of this court with regards to the second-degree murder that you be committed to the Michigan Department of Corrections to serve a minimum of 100 years to a maximum of 200 years. I am purposely doing this so that you will not be eligible for parole until you are at least 130 years old. The sentence is concluded. Take him to prison, please.
There should be the death penalty. Laws have to be changed. Things have to change. These people should not be allowed to just kill and keep going. They should all be dead.
What did you think about the judge's sentencing, 100 to 200 years?
I'm happy that he won't see the light of day. He won't be out. He won't be free. He can't do this to anybody else's child because this could have been anybody's child.
Now that Jared's fate was sealed, it was time to shift the focus to his alleged accomplices, his mom and dad. A few months later, in January of 2020, Barbara Chance pled no contest to accessory after the fact and perjury. James Chance, on the other hand, denied taking a plea deal. He continued to maintain his innocence and went through with his trial.
That shows that he helped his son avoid discovery, arrest, trial, or punishment. He brought his son to the police department. I'm going to walk my son, who I believe has committed something, some crime, I'm going to walk him into the police department and ask the police to take care of it. How is that indicative of a person who's trying to help somebody avoid arrest, trial, punishment?
Although the defense claimed that this trip to the police department was the noble act of turning his own son in, the prosecutors believed that it was all a part of James's calculated plan to improve his son's defense in court.
I'm going to bring him in. I know cops can't talk to you once you lawyer up, but I can say, oh yeah, no, I brought him in. And when it doesn't go his way, he's out of there in less than 2 minutes. And what does he do? He helps his son by returning Ashley Young's body parts, returning Jared to his crime. Go ahead. I put you back to where all the body parts have been chopped up. You can go back to work. I'm not going to turn you in, even though I know she's dead and I know she's dismembered.
James Chance did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He didn't help his son dispose of a body. He didn't help his son evade capture. He didn't lie to try to throw off an investigation. He did nothing wrong.
By the end of his trial, the jury found James Chance guilty of being an accessory after the fact and perjury. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and 1 year of probation. And Barbara Chance was sentenced to 45 days in jail and 1 year of probation as well.
This is not a joke. You had my daughter's body parts in your car. You drove them around. I pray every night that you are tormented by everything that you and your wife and Conrad and Jared have done.
I grieve deeply for Ashley and her parents. I'm just so sorry everything happened, and I wish if I could change it, I would. I would do anything to undo what's been done. Very sorry.
Jared's parents have already served their sentences and are moving on with their lives. As for Jared himself, he continues to carry out his sentence at the Muskegon Correctional Facility. His earliest release date is December 1st in the year 2118. To this day, he has still not admitted what he did with Ashley's head.
Oh, this was a tough one. This was a real tough one to go over. Serve him right. I think that the judge did a great job. It seems that the mother's impact statement really touched him. It touched everybody in the room, and for good reason, right? Because you really can't say that this individual is not a monster. You really can't say that he does not get a kick out of continuing to harm Ashley in death as well as harm her family, knowing that he's harming Ashley through her family, through her mother, right? And you can see that because that's why he would not speak. He won't give up the other information where he placed her remains, like her head and stuff, so her body can be intact. It's not like he does not know that, in our country, how we like to bury our dead and mourn our dead and celebrate their life. So it is a travesty, right? I am happy that the parents did get charged and they did have to serve some time for their involvement in it. I would truly like to have seen the father get a little bit more time due to the fact that now it shows that the reason why he even brung his son there to the police department wasn't an act of of decency and standing up for what's right and stuff like that. He did it as a ploy. He knew what to do. He like, hey, listen, go there, say that you was going to do this so they could have it on record. They could have it on video that you did come in and you wanted to let them know about some information. They let you go. So now if they was to find Ashley, they will be going to look for other suspects and not necessarily Jared, right? But it's a good thing that Ashley's mom knew about her whereabouts, knew who she was going to be with, and they went and did their own personal investigation at the house prior to the roommate calling the cops about the foul smell and finding Ashley's body in the basement. So shout out to them because he could have played this off. You seen how he tried to get his friend Demetrius. He tried to blow it all on Demetrius and make it seem that Demetrius was hanging out with Ashley, linking up with Ashley. She was with Demetrius the last time that she was alive. He was trying to set up his friend. He was trying to set up his roommate. He got his parents, his poor old parents, and his brother involved. And here they are, they're tugging on their emotions of they love their son. They think there's something seriously wrong with him. And they don't want to see him in jail. They don't want to see him in prison. So they did what they possibly could do. Right. And they almost got, thrown the book at them just as much as he did. This was a whole thing, a whole shambles all the way around. But, prayers to her, prayers to that family. I hope that, now with this type of justice, they can, just continue to celebrate Ashley in the best way. And that he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? Like the mom was absolutely right. He did not win. Okay. Because no matter what, she might not be here, but you can't control her spirit. And you definitely can't control the joy of her memory for many other people. Whereas for you, you're only going to be remembered for this horrible, cruel thing that you did as a monster. Y'all not on the same level. That's what I'm trying to say. And you will never be. And see, Gerbil said, yeah, cooked himself trying to act innocent. Parents go off way too light right now. Yeah. Rest in peace, Ashley. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And let's see. Let's see. Keep me knowing. Shout out to you. Happy Saturday. But we aren't talking about, let's see. All right. So that was a good case. I have one more case for you guys. So go ahead and just hit the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. And share this out to anyone who likes these immersive conversations where we go over old cases, new cases, and cold cases. shout out to you, shout out to you. So I have one more case for you good folks, and then I'm going to let y'all enjoy your Saturday. Like I said, I'm tired myself and I need to eat. So we're going to watch a video that happened in West Virginia. This is supposedly supposed to be the dumbest killer in West Virginia. It looked interesting. There's some body cam footage going on. So we're going to look at that. So tap on it. Just make sure you're hitting the like button while you're coming in, okay? Go ahead and pull up my screen. And I hope you guys can see it. And here we go.
30-year-old Rita Hendershot and 33-year-old Matt Hendershot were putting their guns back into storage after cleaning them, when suddenly...
911, where's the address of your emergency?
The neighbor lady just said her husband or boyfriend just accidentally shot him.
Where is the wound at?
Where did he get shot? In his cheek. In his cheek.
After realizing that one of the guns went off and a bullet went straight into Matt's head, Rita immediately ran to the neighbor's house and told them to call 911. When officers arrived on the scene, Rita was inconsolable.
That's my family. Can I please go down to them, please?
We're gonna sit over here.
I can't go down. Please, somebody, please let me go to Matt. Please let me go to his body. Please, please. Never been handcuffed in my life.
Have a seat on that chair for me, Rita.
I'm gonna pee myself because I'm in love with him. But you understand how up I am.
Not only was Rita visibly intoxicated, but she was also too emotional to answer any questions.
I can't live without him. Oh, I can't live without him. Please help me.
Rita.
I can't live there.
Rita, I need you to take a deep breath, Rita.
I can't do this. No.
We're gonna
Please,
sit right
please, please, let me please help me. He's the kindest person I've ever met in my life.
Eventually, she was able to regain some composure and explain to the cops what actually happened.
We were just moving our guns. He was like, babe, let's move our guns. And he had the gun in his hand, and I took it, and it, boom, I didn't realize it was loaded.
She told the lead detective the same story, that this terrible accident happened while storing their guns in another location.
Whereabouts were you when it happened?
I was coming in the kitchen. We were moving guns, and he was holding it. He was in the kitchen with me. We were both in the kitchen. We were just moving them, just hiding them under our bed.
And you said there wasn't a clip inside of it?
He put the clip inside of it, not me.
You put the clip inside?
Yeah, we were just moving guns. It was just like our regular routine. We were just cleaning house. I didn't realize he put the clip in the 1911.
Strangely, Matt was bleeding out on the stairs behind their residence when first responders arrived. Since Rita said that Matt was shot inside the home, that meant that after being shot, he ran outside in a panic before collapsing on the stairs. This story raised some red flags, so the investigators...
Yeah, I'm going to stop there because truly it does raise some red flags. Normally, if someone got shot, they would kind of like, try to catch their breath and sit down. If he's running outside after getting shot, it's telling me that he's running away from you. Another thing, why are y'all intoxicated while dealing with guns? Like, can we not do that, please? All right. Like, that's just a no-no. That's just a no. You shouldn't be dealing with drugs, being under the influence of anything. I don't care. Narcotics, alcohol, pills, painkillers, you name it. Please don't be doing anything like that. But her story is not really adding up. It's not adding up. Because if y'all were just moving the guns, were you moving the guns to be, eventually clean them, right? Did you shoot prior to that? And if anything, if y'all was just like, holding the guns or y'all was about to shoot, why was the guns already loaded? Right? Why wasn't the safety on? These are the things that I would start, questioning. But the real ticker was the blood on the stairs. The fact that he ran out the house and all this happened in the house, that means to me, he was running away from you. So I don't think it was just some random, I just grabbed the gun from him and it went boom. And I don't believe that story whatsoever. But we're going to go ahead on a little bit more. Let's see what the police have to show us, actually.
Went inside the home and attempted to confirm everything she had told them. In the kitchen, several firearms were laid out on the counters, including the Ed Brown 1911 9mm handgun that Matt was shot with. This aligned with Rita's story. However, the investigators did notice some other things that they couldn't quite explain. For example, in Matt's bedroom, his TV was still on and his Xbox console had gone idle. This seemed to indicate that Matt had abruptly ended his gaming session without turning off his Xbox. Additionally, several drops of blood were found at the front entrance of the home, but the rest of the house was spotless. So the investigators were unable to confirm where exactly the gun had been fired. Since things weren't adding up, the detectives decided to have Rita physically walk them through what happened.
So he was in the living room with me. We were moving all the guns. We were gonna put everything up here, over here, in that cabinet. And that's when it happened. It was just a complete freak accident. I didn't realize that it was loaded, and I didn't realize that it was just sitting at the bottom. Okay. I didn't realize that because I was just moving stuff so fast. I was just like boom, and it went off, and it was sitting right there, and I was like, oh my god, it happened like right here somewhere. I didn't even know it happened until he went outside and he held his hand, and I was like, wait a minute, that didn't sound right. So that's when I went to his aid and I ran to the neighbor's house, and I was like, oh my god, somebody call 911. My phone was dead. I did not know he put the clip in the 1911.
He was seated.
He sat down.
Was he seated on this stool?
He sat on his bed.
On his bed. So he was sitting on the bed when it happened.
Yeah.
You were standing.
I came in to like, what's going on? And then boom.
Although the investigators had been giving Rita the benefit of the doubt up until this point, this walkthrough solidified their suspicions about her. Throughout the investigation, Rita had constantly been changing her story. The very first person who she told about the shooting was her neighbor who called 911.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
The neighbor lady just said her husband or boyfriend just accidentally shot it.
Where is the wound at?
In his cheek. In his cheek.
To clarify, Rita told the neighbor that Matt was cleaning the gun when it accidentally discharged, hitting him in the face. But as we showed you earlier, when the police arrived on the scene, Rita told the officers that the
So, this is why another reason if you're going to do a crime, don't be intoxicated, right? Because you went over there and you told your neighbor that he shot himself in the cheek, but then now you're saying that he got shot in the back. So which one is it? I mean, the autopsy will tell us whether or not he shot himself in the cheek. And if a person did shoot themselves like in a like an attempt suicide, it's a certain type of trajectory that the bullet goes through that lets you know that it was a self-suicide or not somebody else shooting you, right? So, she's not thinking about that because right now it's convincing the detectives to believe her story, her nincompoop story. But it doesn't make any sense. She already got caught in a lie. This is, I don't know. I really don't know. I hope that they'll explain a little bit more because I'm still trying to figure out intent. A potential intent that I can see here is they got in an argument. They were both inebriated. They were both drunk or under some form of influence. They probably got in an argument about something, and she grabbed the gun, and everything else goes. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go on. Oh, well, I'm sorry that you feel that I'm boring. You don't have to be here, you won't be missed. But thank you. Have a good Saturday.
The gun went off in her hands.
We were just moving our guns. He was like, babe, let's move our guns.
Yeah.
And he had the gun in his hand, and I took it, and it boom, I didn't realize it was loaded.
This wasn't the only inconsistency in Rita's statements. She had initially said that the gun went off while they were storing their firearms under Matt's bed.
We were just moving them, just hiding them under our bed.
But during the walkthrough, she said that they were storing them in the cabinet above the closet.
We were going to put everything up here, in that cabinet. And that's when it happened.
She also initially said Matt was shot in the kitchen.
We're about
were you when it happened?
I was coming in the kitchen. He was in the kitchen with me. We were both in the kitchen.
But she was now saying that Matt was sitting in his room when the gun went off.
But he was seated.
He sat
He
down.
was he seated on this stool?
He sat on his bed.
On his bed. So he was sitting on the bed when it happened.
Yeah.
You were
I
standing.
came in to like, what's going on? And then boom.
This was the most believable story because the investigators found a single 1911 bullet casing on Matt's bed. It seemed that Rita had made up some of the details she told the police and was now backtracking because her statements didn't align with the evidence. Rita's inconsistent storytelling wasn't the only red flag. The investigators saw her erratic behavior as over the top.
But you understand how dumb I am?
Not only that, but the timing of her outbursts was also extremely suspicious. Anytime the officers were talking to other witnesses, she would suddenly cut off the conversation with her screams of anguish.
Rita.
It seemed like Rita was intentionally disrupting the investigation. All of these red flags made Rita suspect number one, but they now needed to answer the question, did Rita have a motive to harm Matt? The answer to this question became clear when they looked into her and Matt's history. Rita and Matt met at a bar in 2012, and they immediately hit it off. The two dated for a few months and fell madly in love. But after officially tying the knot, Rita's behavior suddenly began to change. She moved in with Matt and his grandma Matilda. But Rita and Matilda would constantly fight, and Rita began belittling her on social media. For example, one of her Facebook posts said, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't get married to take care of an old
Exactly.
It was around this time that Matt became
Exactly.
distant from his friends and family. Rita seemed convinced that everybody was out to get her. She would constantly play the victim in her social media posts and call anybody who she didn't agree with her haters. Then, in 2017, Grandma Matilda passed away, so Rita and Matt were living together alone. They began fighting more than ever. According to Matt's family, Rita would constantly gaslight Matt into thinking he was always in the wrong. Eventually, Matt couldn't take it anymore, and he divorced Rita. In the summer of 2018, within a few months of their divorce being finalized, Rita was already engaged to one of Matt's friends. This was when Rita found a striking new hobby: guns. She would frequently post videos of herself at the shooting range and memes about how much she loved guns. Then, on March 30th, 2020, tragedy struck. Rita's fiancé got into a terrible motorcycle crash and lost his life.
A motorcyclist is killed in a single vehicle crash in Frederick. State police say the motorcyclist was going eastbound when the driver went into a ditch off the shoulder and was thrown from the bike. The investigation into the crash is ongoing.
The Frederick County Sheriff's Office investigated his death and learned that he and Rita were at a party that night and an argument broke out. Her fiancé stormed out, hopped on his motorcycle, and left for home. Rita immediately hopped into her car and followed directly behind him. Apparently, as they got close to their house, Rita's fiancé hit a pothole and crashed into a fence, killing him instantly.
Okay, yeah, so this is seeming a little like the Black Widow kind of trope going on. It seemed like she has control issues. She's very manipulative. And then now to realize that her fiance, he pretty much lose his life because she's following behind him, and she probably bumped his wheel and had him flying across the highway. That's what it seems like it. And it seemed like she got away with that, right? But it all stems back to her ex-husband. She was mad that, you know, he divorced her. She was mad that his grandmother was living with him and he wanted to be a good grandson and take care of his grandmother to her end of her days so she wouldn't be alone. You was competing with the grandma. This lady is this lady is a lot. She's a lot. But it definitely does ring a bell of some type of like Black Widow type of situation. And the fact that she never had an interest in guns before, and then she just started having this big interest in all these different types of guns. So now I'm wondering, were that your ex-husband guns, his guns, or was that your guns, right? And it will go to show whether or not if her hand was on the trigger or was it his. But we already know that she's a liar, right? Because she kept on switching up her stories throughout the investigation. But yeah, this is man. This is not looking good. This is definitely not looking good for her. Isaiah said no gear. Yeah, no gear. Milky Way says, shaking my head, women only use men for free stuff. Stop simping. Never get married. Have kids and live together. That's not a good thinking. Milky Way, I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's really not good thinking. Okay? It's not going to help you. Okay? If anything, that type of thinking is going to just keep you by yourself. Let's see. Hi, Regina. How you doing? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I hope everything's well with you. Hope everything's well. Is this a conservative podcast? Well, technically, I don't give my political stance, but welcome. Happy Saturday. That's a pit maneuver. All right. Let's see. Okay, so let's go on. Let's see what else.
The investigators concluded that his manner of death was an accident. Shortly after this incident, Rita reached out to Matt and asked if she could stay with him for a bit. Matt agreed to take her in for a few months so she could save up some money and find her own apartment. This is when things began to spiral. Although she found a new boyfriend during this time, Rita's stay at Matt's house dragged on for months longer than expected, and her behavior became more and more concerning. She began drinking heavily and would frequently have violent outbursts. During these outbursts, she would abuse Matt, hitting him, scratching him, and threatening him by pulling out an assortment of weapons during their arguments. Not only did Rita attack Matt with a fork, but after looking through all of Matt's text messages, detectives located 4 documented instances of Rita's abuse throughout their time living together. The fork attack we just mentioned was number 1. The second was a fight that escalated so badly that Rita pulled an AR-15 out from storage and pointed it directly in Matt's face. The third was regarding an argument where Matt locked Rita out of his room, so Rita stabbed his door with a knife several times. And the fourth incident was when Rita waved a full-size machete in Matt's face to taunt him while he was trying to play beer pong. Eventually, Matt put his foot down and told Rita that she had a week to leave, or he was going to have the authorities escort her off the property. However, before Matt could call the police on Rita, he was shot dead. This ugly history between Matt and Rita made her statements at the crime scene seem completely performative.
But you understand how tough I am gonna be myself because I'm in love with him. He's the kindest person that I've ever met in my life.
She wasn't even in a relationship with Matt at the time of the shooting. As we mentioned earlier, she had found a new boyfriend who had actually showed up at the crime scene to support her.
Does she live here with you? Okay. How did that situation work?
He took her in before I dated her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was a good friend and everything like that. I've talked to Matt. I've been friends with her. Sure, Matt too. I've never had any problems with him.
Okay.
Of course, Rita began having another meltdown before the officer could get through this conversation.
Can't live there!
Rita, I need you to take a deep breath, Rita.
I can't do this!
The investigators were confident that Rita had shot Matt in cold blood. However, they didn't want to charge her with murder until they got the forensic test results from the crime lab. So, Rita was initially arrested and charged with negligence with a firearm and wanton endangerment. She immediately posted bail and was free to go. Then, just 2 days after Matt's death, Rita posted photos on social media of her and her new boyfriend kayaking and fishing in a lake. After 3 weeks of forensic testing, the crime lab concluded that Rita's story, that the gun went off accidentally, was impossible, mainly because of the grip safety, which is located on the back of the handle of the 1911. This safety mechanism meant that the handle of the gun needed to be firmly squeezed in order to be fired. So, Rita was arrested yet again, this time for first-degree murder. She pled not guilty.
Kearneysville, West Virginia woman accused of shooting and killing her ex-husband had her indictment handed up by the Berkeley County Grand Jury. So 30-year-old Rita Hendershot was indicted by Berkeley County Grand Jury yesterday for murder and use of a firearm and the use of a felony.
Her trial took place in February of 2023, and her defense stuck to her story that this was a freak accident. However, due to Rita's behavior at the crime scene, the inconsistencies in her stories, her history of abuse against Matt, and the grip safety on the back of the gun, the defense failed to convince the jury. After a 6-day trial, Rita was found guilty. However, the jury believed that the prosecution failed to prove premeditation, which is required for a first-degree murder charge. So, they chose to convict her of second-degree murder instead. She was also found guilty for the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Rita was sentenced to 40 years for the murder conviction and a consecutive 10-year term for the firearm charge.
Okay.
The defense immediately appealed these convictions, saying that Rita had an unfair trial, and the case was brought before the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. The defense was claiming that all of Matt's text conversations where he detailed Rita's abuse were hearsay, because the state never presented any evidence to prove Matt's claims.
The lower court didn't require any evidence be produced to the pretrial to allow these bad acts.
Okay. So, all right. So far they gave her 40 years. They appealed it. This is what a defense attorney is supposed to do. If you're supposed to object to certain things that goes on in the trial, so later on when you do go to an appeal board, you can add those things in. If those things are not objective while in trial, you can't use them. So you're going to have to start from scratch all over about certain things that you want to use for your client's case. In this particular situation, even if they don't want to say that it's premeditated, I don't think it's premeditated either. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say that it's premeditated. I do think it's second degree murder. And the reason why is because she does have a history of being abusive. Yes, it is hearsay, even though he was keeping records of his abuse, the abuse that he was being given by her. Is still hearsay. It's still only his words. There's not something else that can confirm that what he's saying is true. I do believe that the pictures, though, of the scratches and the bruises on him should suffice. But nonetheless, it's the defense attorney's job for them to stricken that thing. And if they didn't approve for that to be added into this trial or for it to be used for her appeal, then that's what they're supposed to do, right? That's just what real defense attorneys are supposed to do. But I really don't think it's going to necessarily help her in this situation. She told too many lies to the on-site detectives and police that was there. Too many lies from 1 minute to the next. The second thing is that they showed how she was trying to manipulate the investigation. When they were trying to ask her questions, she was acting very erratic. She was doing all this performative stunt about how she's so sad and it was such a freak accident and nothing could happen. It's unfortunate that all the weapons that this woman used, you're gonna go and put and get the weapon that has a safety at the back that you have to apply pressure for you to even shoot the gun. I mean, you can't even you really can't even fake that, right? You would have had a better bet maybe with the R15 or some other semi-automatic, but you use that who has that type of built-in safety in the grip? Child, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. They really don't think that this is going to stick that much, this appeal. I don't buy it. The defense has to do a really, really good job in making it seem that she got railroaded by the prosecutor and that they just really did not believe her story that this was a freak accident. And since she was the only one that was there and she was on the scene when he was what's the name, when he was dying from his wounds, that who else is involved, right? They're gonna have to do a real hard job for that, really hard job, but we'll see. Let's see. AJ said, wow, you tried to speak over your video, neither of you, it could have been heard and understood. Well, I was saying hi to someone. I'm sorry about that, but you wasn't really missing that much. Hey, King, how are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It's always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure. Regina says she killed the fiance too, I think. Well, they said that it was an accident, but I believe that she did have involvement with it. If she was literally trailing behind him, speeding up, trying to catch her fiance on his bicycle, and then she quote unquote hit a ditch that quote unquote hit his vehicle that had him flying in the highway. Yeah. Oh, you missed. I did one case earlier, sir. This is the second one. Today is going to be a short live stream today. But yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And thank Jay for the $2 super chat. I truly appreciate it. He said, I'm really enjoying listening to your show. Thank you so much, Jay. I truly appreciate you. Truly, truly, truly appreciate you and all your support, sir. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, King Kamikaze. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Regina said OJ lawyers could have helped her. No, I don't think so. OJ's lawyers were not going to be able to help her. Nah. I don't think so. Absolutely. Safety is the seal of her fate. Right, exactly. That's what I truly believe. If she would have picked another gun, yes, maybe, right? Depending on what type of gun it was. But she picked one that literally is built into the grip. You cannot shoot the weapon unless you're squeezing the grip to release the safety. In that, she is screwed. But let's go on.
Evidence to come in front of the jury, and even allowed the state to just merely read into the record text messages in a proffer. It would be improper, according to our position, to just allow this evidentiary burden to be met merely by reading a text into the record.
The defense then dissected each incident one by one, arguing that these allegations of abuse were nothing but he said, she said.
Looking at them individually, the text message surrounding the fork incident, by the decedent's own admission, he had grabbed my client so hard that she was bleeding whenever she grabbed the fork to get away from him. Regarding the allegation that in December, my client pointed an AR-15 at him, there was no evidence admitted outside of a text message to prove that it actually occurred by a preponderance of the evidence. The same would be applicable to the allegation that she bashed doors in the house. And then regarding the one where Mr. Savage testified that my client had waved a machete at them while intoxicated while they were playing beer pong approximately 2 months prior to the fatal shooting. In that case, he was asked directly and responded that she didn't threaten Mr. Hendershot with machete and that he didn't swing it, and that she was trying to make them lose their beer pong game by distracting them. I don't believe that that would qualify any standard that any of those are domestic violence.
The state found all of these arguments absurd and claimed that there was more than enough evidence to corroborate Matt's text messages, which justified showing them to a jury.
The biggest complaint that I heard in my colleagues' responses was that they were unproven. That's just simply not true. This wasn't just someone standing up and saying, well, this happened, and the state merely reading in text messages. This was proven by forensic evidence. This was proven by photographs. This was proven by live testimony. I also want to give a little clarity to the court on the fork incident, because petitioner has attempted to portray this as a self-defense. That's simply not true if you read the actual text messages. He notes to Ms. Hendershot herself that you came at me and hit me in the face twice and knocked me off the couch, and I restrained you. When that happened, she grabbed a fork and stabbed him. This was not merely a self-defense, unless we're speaking about the self-defense of Mr. Hendershot, because she was attacking him.
They also pointed out that if these incidents didn't really happen, the only reason Matt would send these messages would be to set Rita up.
To believe that this is not trustworthy would be to believe that Mr. Hendershot, before he died, was somehow attempting to set up Mrs. Hendershot for this eventual murder. That simply is just not believable.
The defense shot back, saying that a frame job was...
Well, I mean, she's good. The prosecutor is definitely doing her job, and she's making it very plain to them for them to understand the situation. My thing is that this is when the defense attorney has to come in and say, okay, he probably didn't use all this information to set her up for his death, but he probably got all this information or recorded all this information or these instances where it was domestic violence between them because he was already trying to get her to leave his house. So if he was trying to get the police involved, he wanted a paper trail. So you see what I'm saying? This is how, when you're dealing with smart defense attorneys and when you're dealing with proper prosecutors, this is how the battle of the wits goes inside the courts. Just as much as how she was able to knock down what he was throwing out there, he can come back and rebuttal it as in, okay, this is why this information should not be used in regards of her appeal, because we don't know whether or not if he wrote all that just to set her up so she can get arrested, and that will help speed up her exit out of her house because he no longer wanted her to reside there. So we'll go on ahead. We only got a little bit more to go.
Wasn't the only reason Matt would lie about Rita's abuse.
The state argued that he had no reason to text regarding the AR incident, and other than try to do an eventual setup for murder. If you look at the record in this case, he was trying to get her out of the house. Trying to turn friends and family against her would make it easier to get him out of the house. So that's not the only explanation for that. My client did not get a fair trial. It's improper. It's against West Virginia law. So at the very least, we would ask for a remand for a new trial where the lower court does not admit that evidence in front of a jury. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
Despite this effort from the defense, on June 2nd, 2026, the Supreme Court upheld Rita's conviction. Court records state that Rita's acts of domestic violence were intertwined with the lethal outcome of her abusive relationship. Therefore, they determined that the text message evidence was properly admitted and relevant to the case. So, Rita continues to serve her sentence in the Lakin Correctional Center in West Columbia, West Virginia. Her next parole eligibility hearing is in 2033. If she is denied parole, her projected release date is in the year 2046, as long as she stays on her best behavior. Based on her most recent mugshot, it appears that Rita is enjoying her time behind bars. To this day, Matt's family still struggles to understand why he was taken from them so soon. In a 2024 interview with Matt's mother, Tammy Reese, she said that when Matt loved someone, he loved them with his entire heart and soul. Not just his romantic relationships either. The reason he initially moved in with his grandma Matilda was because she had just lost her husband, and Matt wanted to make sure that she was taken care of. Sadly, Rita knew how caring Matt really was and took advantage of this. She weaseled her way back into his home, abused him, and when Matt told her to leave, she killed him. Thankfully, Matt's family was able to get some sort of justice, but to this day, Rita stands behind her story that this was all a terrible accident.
Oh, wow. So that lady, you see her eyes, the fact that she's smiling and grinning like that, and she's serving a 50-year sentence. Yeah, she's not wrapped too tight. She really isn't wrapped too tight, but I'm glad that her appeal did not go through. It was no technicality that was going on. Her mannerism and her prior history was relevant to this particular type of case, because when we are dealing with abuse, this is why you have to learn the levels of abuse, right? If you think about the levels of abuse when going to psychology, it always starts verbal, right? It starts verbal, then it starts mental, then it gets physical, and then it gets to the point where someone can lose their life, right? So they had to take that into consideration, that she didn't start out this way, but the longer that they were in the relationship, the abuse started to get worse. Prayers to him and his family. It seemed like he was a really good guy. The fact that he wanted to make sure that his grandmother wasn't alone, and and that someone loved her and to take care of her and moved her in. That just shows his character. The fact that her fiance dies while she's chasing him with her car, and he's trying to get away from her, and he has a deadly accident. And then he moved her back into his house after her fiance died. That shows so much about his character. He divorced this woman. She was involved in her fiance losing his death, losing his life. And then he literally allowed her to come reside back in his house. Like, where's your family at, man? See, that's another thing that you have to talk about people's family, right? If you are that down and out, that you don't even have family members that you can go and live with, not your parents, not a sibling, not an aunt, not a cousin. You don't have nobody in your family that you can depend on when you're in your time of need, that you have to go to outside strangers, or let alone your ex-husband to help you. that says a lot about you. You broke enough bridges in your life that you can't come back from, right? And they're going to take that into consideration. They have to take that into consideration, you know? So yeah, this was a good case. I'm glad that I was able to review this with you guys. It was a good case. Let me go ahead and look at some of these comments, and then we will go ahead and get on out of here, okay? It says, based on her recent mugshot is diabolical, right? Sad, yeah. Yes, let's get the likes up before we head on out. The mechanic says, smile doesn't reach the eyes. Good news is she can't get early release without admitting she's guilty. Yeah. Diabolical. Yep. Yes, we thank you all for the support. We really do. We thank all of you for the support. Truly, truly appreciate it. I'm willing to bet she did the fiance too. I think that she had an involvement in it. They ruled it as an accident, but you know, she was literally following him and hit a ditch that made him swerve and fly off his motorcycle. So yeah. Yes, and if you have any suggesting cases, go ahead and put it down in the comment section at the end of this live stream. I read all my comments, guys. I heart all my comments, so you could just go ahead and put that down there, and I'm going to put it on my list for cases that we're going to review on this channel, okay? On this channel. And let's see. Brucey was here, King. Brucey was King, but you know, he'd be in and out. And then he couldn't get her to leave. Right. Yep. See, there you go. Didn't I tell you he was going to pop up? He said, I'm cooking. Well, guys, those are the only cases that I have for you today. Like I said, today was going to be a short live stream. I'm trying to get back into motion. I will send out the notifications again once I have a day off. I am tired, but I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Truly appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to rock out with me. So shout out to all of y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, okay? Enjoy. And stay tuned and look out for my pre-recorded videos. They are coming out. I'm going to work on them right now once I stop this live stream. I'm going to work on them right now so I can get that out for you good folks, okay? Until next time, peace out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.